Hi, my name is Moran, and I will be going over Orange, the Complete Collection. The author and artist is Ichigo Takano. Um, it has 523 pages and was published in America by Seven Seas. The graphic novel slash manga itself is a genuine graphic novel, as even if you just read the first complete collection, you understand what's happening in the full story. Um, for the acts themselves, the page numbers aren't labeled within the manga, but based on my own opinion, I feel that the acts are clearly divided between the three volumes that are within the complete edition, and it's very clear where it cuts off because there is a actual divider page which then shows that you are now in the next volume. The story itself is from the point of view of Naho Takamiya. She receives herself letters from herself 10 years in the future when she is in 11th grade. These letters tell her that the new transfer student, Kakeru Naruse, is due to become their new friend within the friend group, and that in the future he is no longer with them. The goal of the story is to have Kakeru make it to the future and not pass away due to a buildup of regrets, instances that make Kakeru spiral. The story itself has a solid beginning, middle, and end, and the resolution is satisfactory. The story itself, the arc, over encompassing arc, starts with Naho and their friend group getting to know Kakeru. He's a new transfer student. They get to know him. They get to realize, that it's their missing link within the friend group. And over the course of time, Naho realizes the actual importance of the letters. It's almost instantaneous. With the first letter, she doesn't follow because one, doesn't believe it's real, and two, doesn't think that she should change anything. But then Kakeru is not there for a whole week, and she worries that this is her fault for not changing the past. The resolution is very beautiful with the themes of depression and building of small situations, making it into a larger situation, is shown very well. With Kakeru, trigger warning for mental health issues, he is dealing with depression after his mother committed suicide. And he has this buildup of little instances that would seem like not important to someone else, but to someone with depression, it amplifies it and they blame themselves for it. So you see, as it would build up over time, that it would have ended up repeating the past that is written within the letters by Naho that's in the future. In this new timeline, it also shows that people with depression, no matter how much help you give them and how much reason you give them to live, the dark thoughts can still affect the person, even in a good moment. But in the end, they are able to save Kakeru, and he survives in this timeline rather than succumbing to his own thoughts. For a solid character arc, Naho, the protagonist, grows very much so throughout the story. She starts as very questioning and not believing of the letters, while also seeing the impact that her choices have if she doesn't listen to the letter. And she also deals with her own personal mindset. She has anxiety. She doesn't want to ruin things. She doesn't want to upset people. So she's terrified of making the important choices and, in a sense, correct choices that are listed within those letters. Over time, she grows and listens, also still making her own decisions, but also having confidence in herself, which is confidence in the letters. And it's very nice to see her grow as a person and exit her shell of anxiety. The transitions that I saw, and I mentally cataloged as the correct transition points, are when the panels are replaced with portions of the letters that show the exact date, time, instance, regret, and like what the future Naho wishes she had done. These are used sporadically through the through the pages, sometimes at the beginning of the day, sometimes in the afternoon. Either way, it shows when there's minor turning points involving Naho and Kakaru. The story itself makes very effective use of directional flow, with a few odd pages that are kind of confusing. But for the most part, in the majority of the manga, there is a good directional flow that pulls the reader along. I would recommend this manga to my classmates, as it shows very good character arc and emphasizes the emotional toll that minor issues can have on someone that isn't the main character, that you get to basically see an outside point of view from. It's also a very wonderful story, and it's a beautiful romance, and with, time travel, as it also flops back and forth. You see what the future ended up being as the adult versions of the characters without Kakaru are going through their daily lives, while also going to the past and seeing what's changing. And it's very beautiful to see the contrast of what ended up being and what now is becoming. I personally would not suggest this to people that are sensitive to mental health topics and suicide, because that is a very important, uh, I wouldn't call it a subplot, but it's brought up a lot and talked about. So if you're sensitive to that topic, don't read this unless you're fine with it, even though it's a sensitive topic. Personally, I would not recommend this to my friends, just because we have very different interests when it comes to media. That's their thing, I have mine. I like making myself hurt when I read. The fun fact that I have is actually more of a theory that Naho has photographic memory, because the letters themselves are from her like 10 years in the future, and the letters are down to date, time, exact situation, who's all there, the regret, and what she wishes she would have done. And it's so specific that Naho herself has to have photographic memory of some kind. She can't not if she's memorized these days, unless she very, very religiously journaled everything, which is a little odd that she would start journaling like this new transfer student she like never met before on his first day. But to each their own. I still like to think that she might have photographic memory. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. It's just short analysis. And if you read it, hope you like it.